Hi, everyone, and welcome back to this edition of Thrive in 3, a brief conversation about thriving in life and in business. And today it's my absolute pleasure to welcome Charlotte Kemp. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Lois. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for being here, a very special guest today. Charlotte, please tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Lois. I am a futurist keynote speaker. I like to speak to mostly associations, but organizations and companies about how to use futures thinking or strategic foresight, to use a stuffy academic term, but to use futures thinking to position their organizations, their associations, to help their members and their clients to take the best advantage of things that are coming in the future. A lot of people feel a little intimidated about the pace of change, unexpected circumstances, and they don't know how to respond. But with the right kind of mindset, we can actually take advantage of amazing opportunities, and we can mitigate some of the disasters or unintended consequences of the life that we live in.
Even in this very difficult time that we're going through at the moment.
Absolutely. Even during this time, obviously there are a lot of things that we don't like about this time. There are a lot of tragedies that are happening, not just with the corona crisis, but with racial tensions and so many other issues. But we need to find the opportunities during this time to respond and find positive ways. We get to decide and choose how we want to live in the future. We're not victims to what is happening. We need to overcome them.
Fabulous. So what is your tip for the day?
Well, coming from the futures world, there's a really wonderful tool that we can use called scenario planning. Now, what happens mostly with everybody from individuals to organizations is that we make plans for the future, and we decide how we want our future to be, what we want to achieve, what our financial goals are, or our sales goals, whatever the company goals are, and we create a business plan. And we put everything in place to try and achieve that business plan. But it's a singular plan, and it doesn't always take into account all the variables that are in life. So in scenario planning, what we do is we create 3 plans. We create an absolutely ideal, perfect world scenario. We create an absolutely disastrous, dystopian world scenario. And then there's something sort of in the middle where some of the things worked the way we wanted, but there were some things that didn't come, as planned. And if you have 3 scenarios, even if they're not fully formed, even if you haven't, done all of the work and preparation to actually create those scenarios the way futures thinking would have you do it, but just by doing an exercise and coming up with 3 different ways how this situation, how your plans, how your goals, how your company could end up in the next year or 3 or 5 years. If you have those 3 different scenarios, you open up your mind to the realization that not everything is predetermined, that you do have influence over certain things, but that other things could happen coming out of left field that you weren't expecting. And it allows you to be a little bit more responsive. So when you've planned for something and it doesn't happen the way you want, instead of reacting badly against it, instead of getting annoyed or frustrated or feeling defeated, you go, well, that was unexpected, but here are some tools that I have. Here are some responses. Here's how I choose to react to this. And then you can find new ways to respond. But if you think there's only one way to do something and it doesn't work out that way, you've hit a dead end. You have to start all over again. But if you are prepared going into this, saying that there are at least 3 different ways that this could turn out, then you are a lot more emotionally resilient to whatever happens that you weren't expecting. So I think scenario planning is a great way for us to approach our future, right from individuals all the way up to organizations and cities and countries.
Right. So give yourself choices with various scenarios. Fantastic. Thank you for that, Charlotte. Everyone, I'm Lois from Coaching Conversations for Change, and please join us again tomorrow for another Thrive in 3. Charlotte, it was great having you here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lois.